It's time to take your enemies to the nether realm and collect that beautiful bounty. There are plenty of impressive, diverse, and well thought out deck builds for Revenant that I've seen out in the wild. Today though, we're going to focus on and take a look at my deck build. First though, as we always do, we're going to take a look at my ability upgrade path. Now my ability upgrades may be a little different from some of you guys, but at level 1 I take Scar. That's right, I go with Scar for the extra damage early on to try to knock that offlaner out really quickly. Level 2 I go with Obliterate. Level 3 I go with Hellfire rounds, and then level 4 I'm back on Obliterate. Now after level 4 I upgrade Reckoning, obviously at level 5, and then I focus on maxing out Obliterate whenever it is up and available. After I max Obliterate, I alternate upgrading Scar and Hellfire rounds, and then in between there, whenever Reckoning is available, I upgrade that. Now as an ability carry or marauder, Revenant has an excellent set of tools to create rather diversified builds. My primary deck build focuses on damage, crit, lifesteal, and a smidge of ability penetration. I have some additional utility options with Necroveil and Stab Link thrown in there as well. Now here's my deck build. Early game, I pick up Madstone Gem and Health Pot right out of the bat with those 3 points. My first back is at 6 points, and I pick up an Impact Hammer or Meltdown. Right now I'm rolling with Impact Hammer, but I've also used a 6-point Meltdown to get that early ability penetration to use with Obliterate. I also pick up Guardian's Ward as quickly as I can, and that's a 6-point Guardian's Ward. By mid-game, I am transitioning a little bit, adding some more crit, Spear of the Rift Hunter, 6-pointer. Then I pick up a 9-point Meltdown, but I pick it up when I have 7 points total because I replace that Meltdown with Madstone Gem. Then I replace my health potion with Brand of the Iron Eater by like late mid-game, early late game for some additional life steals, obviously some sustained survivability, and then you have some additional crit on there as well. I upgrade that with 6 points of life steal and then 3 points of crit, so it's a major wound. By late game, okay, we're transitioning into the late game stuff. I pick up Spear of the Rift Hunter. This is a 12-pointer that I basically put in 12 points of damage into that. Then you get the bonus crit. So that's 12 points of crit. Then with the Brand of the Iron Eater, I'm at about max. I'm at my max crit, which is 28% for this build. Then I pick up a Hunger Maul. It's a 9-point Hunger Maul. I put 1 point Lesser Drains in there for some additional survivability. But my crit at this point is hitting for about 500 damage or so. Now I've seen people, you can use Blade of Agora or something like that to boost some damage there if you want, but this is my build for more sustain. And then the very last card that I pick up for late game is Necroveil, and it's such a great utility card, and we'll get into that here shortly. That is my entire build. Now I've gone with early game penetration with a 6-point Meltdown, as I mentioned before, but lately I've been adding some additional crit with Impact Hammer, and I just find that to be a little bit better for me performance-wise. But, you know, like I said, you can go ability penetration, you can go straight damage. You can do a lot of different stuff with Revenant, mostly because his Scar is going to add that bonus damage to either your basic attacks or your Obliterate ability. Either way, again, I've had some success, but right now I'm leaning more towards Impact Hammer. And then I mentioned Necroveil. I absolutely love Necroveil on Revenant. I also love it on Countess. I absolutely love it on Countess as well. After getting an enemy hero kill, if you don't know what Necroveil does, you'll enter the shadow plane for 3 seconds. So you basically disappear from the map. They can't see you unless they drop wards. A lot of the times, the reason why it's so good with him is people won't necessarily drop wards because they might think that you pulled them into the nether realm because he just disappears again. And it's excellent for throwing people off. You know, after you get that kill, it's saved and hide. You know, I've been able to run away. It also adds an additional layer of positional strategy to set up more kills. So you can chain those kills together, just keep disappearing. It's a great offset to the Reckoning, as I mentioned, for those reasons, because you just disappear. And if you're outnumbered, you know, you get one kill and then you disappear. It's like, hey, that was my get out of jail free card. Lastly, I want to talk through a couple of scenarios with the Reckoning. Its uses cannot be understated, so I want to mention a few cases that can really help you or your teammates out. So first and foremost, I think the most obvious is using it as an escape. I've seen people use it, disappear from battle, then run away so that the enemy team can't focus them. Sure, that's a great use case, very, very obvious. One of the ones that's not so obvious, someone actually called it out in one of my key moments, and I actually really focused on this. I had a game where an enemy Grux, a frontliner, was really disrupting team fights to the point where if he was alive on the enemy team, we would take some serious damage and not be able to come out on top in team fights. When I say come out on top, that means we would go 1-1. They would go 2-1. We would be damaged and have to back off, and they would take an objective. So I went into, especially mid to late game in that particular game, I just targeted him every single time just so I could ISO him. I didn't always necessarily get the kill because he's a frontliner, right? It's like pulling Greystone in and being like, hey, I'm going to take out Greystone. But I was able to pull him out and be effective to a point where we started to come out ahead in team fights, and it ultimately led to a win. Saving a teammate's life. This is another one that's important. If you're able to save a teammate's life by pulling the enemy player into the nether realm, that they're about to kill someone, you pull that player into the nether realm, it's basically a get out of jail free card for your teammates, and they will thank you. I had that happen a couple times now where I've just been in the right position to pull out either someone that was on my support or someone that was just on another hero on my team and was able to save their life because they couldn't deal any damage. The last one, and this one is kind of, you have to think outside the box for this one. Isolating the top performer. This could be anyone on the enemy team. It could be a frontliner, it could be a caster, it could be a marauder. Any of these are options that you can choose here, but you need to be very careful because the top performer could definitely take you out if they're too far ahead in the nether realm. But in much of the same way that I described the frontliner scenario, you can apply that to the enemy team's top performer. If they're really wrecking shop in team fights, it might be in your best interest to target that player and say, every single team fight that you go in, you and I are going to have this 1v1 and you're not going to affect the rest of my teammates. That can be effective in combat, so it's a great way to think outside the box a little bit about how you can utilize the Reckoning as a tool to help out your teammates, not just yourself. So hope you guys have enjoyed this build breakdown. Please make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more Paragon gameplay breakdowns, those key moments, build guides, and gameplay tips. And until the next time, folks, I will catch you all later. Stay frosty.